Greetings, fellow bridge lovers, and welcome back to the Bridgin' with Kai channel. Today, I have for you a very interesting relay auction, followed by a highly complex declare play problem and defensive problem. I actually, for the first time, had to write out like a semi-script about what I'm going to talk about because we have like 3 different lines, lots of different cards are flying around everywhere, and to be honest, I don't completely understand it, but we're going to try. So we're going to take a look at this one. This hand was played in the U26 Junior Trials back in December. We're going to get into this hand, but first, I really want to show my appreciation, y'all. We have, over the past, like, 2 weeks, gained, like, 30 subscribers, which is, like, the most that we've gotten in a while. So thank you so much for those of you who have decided to join on the Bridge hype train. And for those of you who have not, please do join in on the Bridge hype train, because what we're doing here, we're just trying to create a bigger platform for Bridge so that people can get exposed, see one of my goofy thumbnails maybe, and then get involved in Bridge and get excited about Bridge. So anything you can do, likes, comments, subscribes, they all help out, make the algorithm think that Bridge and my videos are more fun. So let's get into this video. All right, so here we are. This is our hand. For more context, nobody is vulnerable. Your partner is the dealer, and you are playing a strong diamond relay system. Don't worry, I'll tell you all about what's going on in the bidding. So we get started out here with a 1 spade opener from your partner, and what this is, 5+ spades, 10 to 14 high card points. If you had 15 or more high card points, you would open 1 diamond. If you had only 9 high card points, you would pass. And that's why we're able to open things with 10 high card points in the system, is because we have such a limited range in the opening bids. So 10 to 14, we know exactly what our partner has, and we have a better idea of how to place it, even though it's weaker than the normal threshold. So that's why opening light in first and second seat is okay for us, because we just have such a limited range. Now, it goes 1 spade, pass, and I'm sitting here with this hand, and I see I've got 2 5-card suits, I've got 13 high card points. It feels close to game, so I just fib and I bid 2 clubs, which is artificial and game forcing. Now, I don't agree with this anymore, because, firstly, partner suit of spades, which is not necessarily a fit yet, so I'm not sure if I'm in a fit. We could easily have a misfitting hand, and I also think I over-evaluated the suit quality of my hearts and my diamonds. They really aren't that good. Like, they can't really stand alone. You need an honor from partner in each of these suits to make it stand out and be exciting, and even if partner just has the queen of hearts, you're not super excited about that either. If my ace of clubs were the ace of hearts, I think I would be much more okay bidding 2 clubs game forcing here, because my heart suit quality is a lot better, and the ace of clubs singleton, although it is an ace, the problem is that it could create some blockage and some issues, and that is going to be a common theme. So it goes 2 clubs, artificial game forcing, and what it's doing is asking partner. Now I want them to describe their hand further to me. This first bit is thinking about the lengths of the suits. So if partner had another 4-card suit, they're going to show it through steps, or they're going to tell me that they have no other 4-card suit. So when partner bids 2 spades, for us, this is 2 steps, and in our language of steps and relay, 2 spades is showing clubs. For us, 2 diamonds would be saying, partner, I don't have any other 4-card suit. 2 hearts would be saying, partner, I have 4 or more hearts, or I have a 3-suited hand, and then 2 spades is showing, partner, I have 4 or more clubs. Now, I still don't know if we have a fit or not, so I'm just going to keep asking about shape. So, partner, what do you have? Can you elaborate? And next is going to be telling which suit is longer than the other. Are they of equal length? Or I guess the better way to put it is which one is a 4-card suit, and if not, then you have 5-5. So we have technically 2 responses, but normally in this case there would be 3 responses. You have a 4-card spade suit, you have 5-5 distribution in spades and clubs, and you have a 4-card club suit. Those are your 3 options, but we can't have a 4-card spade suit here because we opened 1 spade showing 5 or more. So that is not an option anymore, which means that we have 2 options, which is 5-5 or a 4-card club suit. And it limits it completely to 4-card club suit. You could have infinitely many spades. Well, I guess it would be limited to 9 spades, but infinitely many spades and only 4 clubs versus a 5-5 distribution, or better, of course. So when we bid 3 clubs to us, this is saying that partner has the 5-5 shape. So he's got 5 spades, 5 clubs. And from this point, now you look at your hand and you're like, gosh, dang it, I really wish I didn't game force. And that's pretty much how I felt in this exact situation, because I'm still like, I don't know where I want to go. I don't want to bid 3 no trump because that seems like a really ugly misfit, and we have lots of transportation problems. I don't have cards and spades that he can get to my hand with. I don't know where partner's honors are in the outside suits, but most of the time it's going to be in clubs and spades. And my ace of clubs is blocking things, so that's why I really don't want to play in 3 no trump. So I think suit contract. What I could have done here is I could have asked another question, and that would be telling me partner's shortness. And if partner had 3 hearts, then I might want to be playing in 4 hearts. The problem is that just because partner shows shortness in diamonds, that doesn't mean that they have 3 hearts. They could have 2 hearts and 1 diamond. They could have 2 hearts and 0 diamonds, even if it's like a 6-5 distribution in the spades and the clubs. So I just opted here to just go for the simple sign-off kind of idea. I decided I'm just going to go for spades. That seems like our best fit. We're going to give it a go. Partner's playing it, not me, so transfer of blame. Right? So for us, 4 diamonds, this treatment is basically saying, partner, I'm looking to sign off in a suit contract. If I had bid 3 no trump, that's looking to sign off in 3 no trump. But when I bid 4 diamonds, I'm telling partner, bid 4 hearts, and I'm going to place the contract. If I wanted to play in hearts, I would pass 4 hearts. If I wanted to play in 4 spades, which I do this time, I bid 4 spades, and partner has to pass. If I wanted to play in diamonds or clubs, I would bid 5 clubs or 5 diamonds. So it goes pass, pass. And you end up playing in 4 spades. And the opening lead is the Queen of Hearts. And we have to deal with this masterpiece, okay? I have, like, lots of different scenarios to talk about on this hand because, oh my gosh, is this thing messy. So, the first thing that we're going to talk about is, well, I guess we should take a look at our losers. So, currently, we have a total of 2 heart losers because they're not underleading the ace of hearts here. We know that South has the ace, so we're always going to be losing the ace of hearts and the jack of hearts. And then we also have potentially 1 spade loser, 2 spade losers, even 3 spade losers, depending on how the spades split and where the king of spades is. And we might even have no spade losers if we're really lucky. And then finally, the club suit. We have no diamond losers because void. But club losers, we have probably, I guess you would count 4 here, but you would like need a really bad split in order for there to be 4 losers. Like most of the time you're going to have 2 or 3, maybe even 1 loser if the club split 3-3. And we need to think about where we can get rid of these losers. We can possibly get rid of a spade loser by taking a spade finesse. And we can possibly get rid of club losers by trumping clubs in the shorthand. The problem is that both of these directly contradict each other. If you try to draw trump, then you can't ruff clubs. And if you try to ruff clubs, it's going to be difficult to draw trump while doing a finesse because you need to play from the south hand. And if you're playing clubs ruffing in the shorthand, you are running out of times to do this finesse. So you have to make a commitment like really early, deciding which line you are going to go with. Now, I feel like we can get to a point on where like we're on common ground in all sorts of lines. The start of the play goes king of hearts, and you cover the queen, making sure that they just have the jack now. In theory, we could knock out the jack and then set up our 10-9 of hearts, and they return a spade. Okay, and we take this finesse because what else are we going to do? And the defense does this because they see a possible cross-ruff line. We are very likely going to be able to trump clubs with these spades, and West wants to prevent that because maybe they want to keep their club tricks. Who knows? So we win the jack, and now we know the position of the king of spades. Most likely, it's very much an odd play for East to duck something like this. If West led spades, East normally would follow suit. They would try to win the king and play another spade, completely drawing your trump. So I would very much expect that West holds the king of spades at this point. So we know the finesse is working. So depending on how the spade split, we could still have multiple losers because just because the spade finesse is on, we're still missing the 10-7-6. So there's definitely potential, like if it splits 4-2, that the 10 is going 10, 7, or 6, because the 8 is going to be gone at the second time we play trump, that those are going to promote. Because even if you get to take the finesse again, if it splits 4-2 and the 10 is in the fourth side, or even the 7 or the 6 is in the fourth side, they're going to still have a trick there. So I want to take a look at a few lines. We have some possibilities. There's an idea here where we're able to set up our heart tricks, so the 10 and the 9, and then we use the ace of diamonds. We have those 3 cards that could possibly be set up to pitch club losers. So that's one line where we try to create these winners, 1, 2, 3, pitching 1, 2, 3, and we try to trump another club to prevent however many club losers that is. So the idea is we would lose the Jack of Hearts and the King of Spades. That's the idea. We get 3 pitches on hearts and diamonds, and we trump 1 club, and we would lose 1 heart and probably 1 spade because we can't take the finesse multiple times. So what would this require? Well, let's just play it out. Let's just see what happens if we try to set up this heart. Let's say it goes 8 of hearts, it goes Jack, and then West shows out. All right. Now, let's take a look at the East hand. So, if you're East here, what do you do? How do you go about setting this contract? So, my first idea as defense here is to continue the plan that partner was going about, which is playing a spade, trying to prevent ruffs of clubs. Now, this doesn't work for the defense, because at this point, declarer can just draw the trump. They can play a club and use the cards that they set up, the hearts, and the ace of diamonds, to throw away clubs. And now all declarer has is a club loser. You win the last 2 spades because the spade split 3-3, and the club is eventually going to be given to West and East, but they make the contract. So that doesn't actually work for the defense. So what card here is the card that sets this contract? You have to play the 6 of hearts. Why? Why do you have to play the 6 of hearts? It's because now, if it goes 9, right, winning the trick, the problem is that West can trump. And now, one of those winners that declarer created to try to pitch clubs away is gone, right? So at most, declarer can now use a heart to pitch and a diamond to pitch, and that's all. That's it. That's all they can do. Not to mention the 7 of spades here, if your partner holds the 7 of spades, which in this case they do. The 7 of spades knocks out the queen, and when you play the ace, dropping the king, now the 10 has promoted as well. So not only did we get rid of a winner, we also promoted our 10 of spades because our partner had the 7. Now, if declarer had the 7, it still is a possibly effective play because you get rid of one of those winners because declarer was clearly trying to set up hearts. But this is even more effective when your partner does have the 7. And in the end, I think that you're going to go down 2 in this case because you're only able to pitch 2 things here. And you now have 2 club losers and a spade loser from this point on. And you've already lost 2. So you are going to go down 2 now because of this heart play. Maybe declarer should not attempt to draw another trump. They should probably play something like this and play the 10 of hearts. But here, the best thing about this is that if you rough in with the king, right, now you have 1 less pitch, you try to over rough, you're still down 2. Because even though you get this rough like this, now the 10 and 6 are both higher than the 4 and the 3. You just can't win. So you still, well, actually, no, you have 1 club loser and 2 spade losers, which ends up being down 2 still. You can rough this, sure. King of clubs. But at this point, if you play a club, it goes low to the jack, and now East still has this for down 2. So yeah, no, it's just ugly. It's just really ugly. So that's the heart line of trying to set up hearts. So that doesn't work. I also wanted to look at something else where they don't even have to win this heart. They can duck. They can duck, and it still doesn't make. Okay? Like, they could duck and they can pitch. Like, it's not necessary. Because now the 10 and the 9 of hearts are not winners. So you cannot pitch clubs. So what we can do at this point is you're going to try to play a club, let's say, and you can use a diamond to pitch a club, right? But it's not going to be enough. What you're going to need to do in the end, I think, is you can play a diamond. Like, this is your best shot at it, is you play a diamond, you try to rough another club, and I guess rough another diamond, but, like, if you look at what's going on here, like, you're just in a really bad position. Well, actually, in this case, it does on the actual distribution of the hand, because, oh my gosh, they're end played. They are so end played. And I guess you have to guess what to keep, but oh, wow. Okay. So if you actually decided to play it that way, then things would have worked out for you on the lie of the cards. But yeah, okay. Fine. Fine. I guess I could have set up another way here, but because the king of diamonds is dropping, this occurs. But, like, if you play the king of spades, king of clubs or something, like, I don't think that's a decent play. I don't think it's good enough, but it goes 6 of hearts, and now you get tapped out. You just lose control completely. But even here, oh my gosh, you could still play the ace of spades, and they're end played. Even though you lose control, they have to exit a diamond because they don't have another heart. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. Okay. It just keeps thwarting me because this king of diamonds is where it is on the actual hand. So not ducking is not a good idea. You should probably take your jack of hearts on defense, but, like, even in this case, I think you can win the 7 here. And what you do is you play the king of spades, drawing the last trump. Now you're just utterly doomed. You don't have hearts set up. You don't have clubs set up. Yeah. Okay. What I was talking about before was nonsense. West needs to trump and draw the last trump, and now you're doomed, because this is impossible now. You can't do anything about this. You pitch a club, but at this point, you can rough a diamond, you can draw the last trump, but you always have 2 club losers if the club split poorly. You would, to be clear, you would still make on this line if the club split 3-3, because West would have to exit another diamond and your clubs would be good. So that's a line, but as shown before, they can just take the jack of hearts and you're down. You're just down when they exit another heart and do the trump promo thing. So there's another line. There's another possibility. Instead of playing a heart, we can just try to set up clubs. And it goes club on this line. For some reason, Double Dummy says that they have to play the queen of clubs. I think it has to do with unblocking. East can possibly get end played in some if you don't play the queen of clubs. So I'm just going to do that because Double Dummy told me to. The idea now is you play the ace of diamonds and you pitch your heart loser. So you don't have to lose that heart anymore. You have only lost 1 heart at this point. And one might think, okay, why don't we try a cross rough line at this point? Because we can, like, rough a diamond, we can rough a club. And the problem here is, once again, the king of diamonds does drop, so North does get end played in the end. Because doesn't this position look familiar? This position looks familiar, huh? Because what can we do? We can play ace of spades, and we can play another spade. And you would have to guess all of this, of course. It's not... They exit a club, and... like so, this would happen. And you might say, what if they exit a diamond instead of a club? You don't need to get your king of clubs here. If you exit a diamond, now you're, because East is out of everything else, you can cash this diamond and the 10, you can knock out the jack of hearts. and they have to throw you back in with another heart because of the distribution of the hands. So that's one way to make it if you do this cross rough line. But let's be more concrete here, okay? What the most simple idea is, instead of roughing a diamond, we get back to this point and we use the ace of diamonds to pitch the heart. And what do we need to make this when we play another spade is the question. If we play a spade and we finesse it because we know the king is onside because of trick number 2, where they played a low spade and we finessed it and it worked, right? What do we need to make this contract? So this works anytime that the spades split 3-3 or the clubs split 3-3, because, and neither one splits worse than 5-1. So if it goes ace of spades and we draw the last trump, if the spade split 3-3, we can use the king of clubs, and then we can set up our club suit like so. Goes club, club. They try to tap us out, but it's ineffective in this case because we have too many trumps still. Goes another club. And they play another diamond, and now all of our clubs are good. Right? So now our clubs are high. We make the contract. If the spades were 4-2, but the clubs were 3-3, this also works. So if I go back here and I switch things around like this, we now play the 8 of spades. We play like so, finesse. We play the ace of spades. Now they still have the king of spades out, but we only need to get rid of one round of clubs if the clubs split 3-3. So we will have enough trump, and they can exit this, right? But what do we do to the king of diamonds? We ignore it. We play a club, and they can duck. They can duck all they want, but eventually they're going to end up to take this king of spades whenever they want. If they take it now, then we get the trump back in, and our clubs are high. So yeah, that is like the most concrete way to make this hand, is if the clubs split 3-3 or the spades split 3-3, you just draw trumps and claim and just hope for the 3-3 split. Now, I want to show you what my partner did, because we haven't even done that yet. What they did is they did something a little bit different on trick 1. Isaac decided to play low. What? Why? Well, the reason is, firstly, on this particular position where they have the singleton, the ace just pops out and you only have one heart loser. But the idea is, even if that was not the case, you still only have 2 heart losers when you duck this, and you have a finessable position to create another trick. So if it goes queen, ace, the argument is it's all the same. Because if they have taken the ace, now you can finesse the heart to get a club pitch. That certainly is a possibility. If, let's say, they didn't take the ace, it went queen, and it went another, you still set up the king, because we know that east holds the jack. It doesn't really hurt you because the spots are all the same. You can still take this finesse. Now, this works on this layout because when a spade is returned, now the pitching line does work because you only had one heart loser. So what partner opted to do was play a club to the ace, played a spade, took that finesse, drew the rest of the trump, and now took this heart finesse because the jack of hearts is now marked. And we can use the king of hearts to pitch a club, the ace of diamonds to pitch a club, and the spades are good, and the king of clubs is good. So we've made our contract. We've already taken 7 tricks, as you can see, and nothing more to do at this point. So partner guessed this very well in only like needing a heart loser, even when you could have pitched a heart loser on the queen of diamonds. But he made it as simple as possible just from trick 1. Now, what I need to look at here, because this kind of has astonished me, is I thought it would be exactly the same double dummy. But if the hearts split in a different manner, if we had a different heart split, like a 4-2 heart split, let's say, okay, it actually does matter what you play. It goes queen of hearts, and double dummy says that playing the king of hearts allows you to make, but playing low doesn't. So let's take a look at why. It goes king, it goes ace, it goes heart. Right? Let's say they return another spade. Okay? And we go for this line that we know concretely works. We use the ace of clubs, we play the ace of diamonds, we pitch the heart. Right? It's the exact same position. Right? We just finesse it, and we all know where this goes because we just knock out the two clubs. We have enough trump to get back in and set up the club suit. So we know how that goes. That's the same plan, same idea. But here, if Isaac had played low, it needs to go low, and you have to play a low heart, finessing, and if you play a low spade, like before, now, for some reason you don't make when you go for this line. Reason was that now your ace of diamonds does not pitch a heart loser. You let them take 2 heart losers initially, and now you took an extra heart loser for doing this. So you get to this point, and you've got this ace of diamonds that kind of does nothing for you. You can play the ace of diamonds trying to pitch club losers now. The problem is that if you play the king of hearts, they rough in. You were trying to pitch a club loser. You would have been fine if they would have not roughed. But here, since they can rough in, now you're just stuck. Because they promoted a winner, and the only way to get yourself out of this is to do like this wacky play where if East decides to trump this, right, this was a natural trump trick. If they duck this, then you get an extra trump, which is 1 less club loser, which is a very fancy little play. Now you can play the ace of spades. And then if you play a club and then you decide to trump, which you're never going to do, you know your partner has a winner, you would have made. So you could still be tricky, but in the end, nope. So because you prevented yourself from pitching a heart loser on that ace of diamonds, the line that we talked about prior doesn't work. And this is also true if the heart split 3-3, you're always down. And you might say, well, what's the deal here? Why can't we just do this and then they play another heart, getting their winner, right? They got that winner. We can't pitch it anymore on the diamond. The issue now is the 10 and the 9 of hearts are now set up. So you can now use the 10 and 9 of hearts to pitch clubs, the ace of diamonds to pitch clubs. If you exit, let's say you exit a heart, right? You go for this line of trying to promote the tricks. It worked before, right? We're getting rid of these hearts. The problem is that, like, let's say even if they guess to put in the 7, right? Now we have like this really, really, we can finesse. I'm still not sure what this does. Oh, club? Oh, you have to go for this end play line. It's really hard. The heart makes things really difficult. But if you do anything other than a heart, it's just really easy for a declarer. I guess the club makes things difficult as well because there goes an entry. But you can play the 10 of hearts now. And if they trump in, you can trump low. The 7 is the most effective card, but I think we just get into the same end position as before. So, yeah. If you remember that end play line I went over with the cross-ruffling of diamonds and things, that's what you would have to do here to make this contract if they return a heart. It still is a really difficult position. And the same thing goes for the 3-3 heart split. If you leave the queen of hearts and play low or high, even with the 3-3 heart split, both times there's nothing you can do. Because of a club switch, I guess. The point is with the club switches, you are knocking out entries. Sure, you set up their hearts, but if you play the clubs before the declarer can draw trump, now you're never going to be able to use the tricks in the south hand because you've just cut communication purely. You should always be down. And if you were to have ducked, like so, they now play another heart, Goes ace. Same idea, you just exit a club, knocking out this entry here, and it's very difficult for declarer to even use these tricks that have been set up. You can pitch one club, but in the end, you can use the ace of diamonds to try and pitch a club. You still have two club losers in the situation, and you can only finesse so many times. So they're always going to get their king of spades and a club, no matter what at this point. This club, same idea, where we give them a crossroads between letting us trump and trumping with a natural trump trick. And yeah, just down one. Nothing you can do. All right. Well, I still don't know. This hand is crazy. We looked at a lot of different permutations, and maybe I shouldn't be going so deep in these videos, but I felt like I just had to go over all of this. I don't feel like I even scratched really. I still feel like I understand this hand at a very shallow level, but in the end, I think the moral of the story of this hand is you just say, well, what is a simple way to make this hand? Instead of trying to calculate over really difficult things, use a lot of brain power, what you do is you just try to find a simple way to make the hand, and that's what you have to do. Isaac kind of just played a low heart, and it worked out for him this time, but if he covered, he also had the ability to use the ace of diamonds to pitch a heart loser and all of this. So I think the most simple thing was just pitch a heart loser on a diamond, and then just draw trump and try to claim and see what happens, because you just need spades to be 3-3 or clubs to be 3-3, and no worse of a split than 4-2, which feels unlikely. It's not a great game. In the end, maybe the moral of the story is I should not have game forced with this hand. It's a crazy end. I hope you enjoyed, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Bridging with Kai YouTube channel, and I will see y'all in the next video or live stream or whatever I end up doing next. So keep on bridging, everyone. Bye!